Hello everyone, my name is Aastha. I welcome you all to our classes for International English Olympiad for class 7th. Today is our 8th class in the series and we will be doing a very important topic, that is nouns. For nouns we will be doing various categories like common nouns, proper nouns. I'm pretty sure you know a few categories already. So it will serve as sort of a revision for those who know, and make sure you understand the different categories so that you don't make any mistakes in them. Alright, whenever suppose there might be questions of a particular category or otherwise also, so understand the various categories and the other concepts that we are going to do. Alright, let's get started.
So now our question is, the first and foremost question that we ask ourselves is, what are nouns? हमें किसी भी टॉपिक को समझने के लिए पहले ये अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ता है कि उस टाइटल का एग्जैक्टली मतलब क्या है. पहले हम इसका मीनिंग करेंगे और मीनिंग को बेटर अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए उसके एग्जाम्पल से समझेंगे और फिर हमें एकदम कंप्लीट क्लैरिटी आ जाएगी जब हम इसके क्विज को अटेम्प्ट करेंगे. ऑलराइट. So here we go. Noun is nothing but any person, place, thing or animal. Alright. All these things, all of them are nouns. Person, जैसे you and me, जैसे your brother, your mother, your teacher, all the persons, they are nouns. Place, for example, Delhi, India, Australia or Mumbai, all these places are nouns. Then things could be, say, this laptop, things could be a pen, things could be a charger, things could be some food, for example apple. All these things are also nouns. Alright. Then animals, so we know dogs, cats, giraffe and say snake and squirrels. All these birds and animals, all of them are nouns as well. So noun की basic meaning we have to know, which is any, this means any person, any place, anything or an animal, any animal. So a noun refers to any person, place, thing or animal. Alright. Well, now that we have understood what exactly nouns are, okay, noun is person, place, animal, thing. So now we will do what are the types of nouns. Nouns में various types होते हैं and we will study each of them with their certain examples and then we will apply them to the questions. So what are the various types of nouns? Okay, so the first category is common nouns. What are common nouns, you see? Common noun is used to name general things, places, ideas, events or people. Now these are the things which a noun also is, but what is so special about common nouns? Common noun names these things in general. Alright, when we are talking about any of these things in general, alright, they are general names, then that is referred to as common nouns. Once we will see the examples, it will be clearer to you. Just have to remember and understand that common nouns are used for general things, places, events, ideas, or people. Alright. Next we have proper nouns. Now these proper nouns, they names a specific person, place or thing. So again, as common nouns they talked about general things or persons or places. Here proper noun, the important part is it talks about these things in specific. Alright, in specific. Like here, and it is also important to know that a proper noun always begins with a capital letter. Like my name Aastha. It is a proper noun. Why? Because we are naming a specific person. Alright, so my name starts with a capital letter and it is a proper noun. Alright. Right, so here we will be taking up the examples of common noun and proper noun together. Like here you see, in the first picture, what are we talking about? We are talking about certain fruits. So we are naming these things in general or specific. We are talking about them in a general manner. So these are fruits is a common noun. But here when we are talking about the fruit in specific, a specific fruit which is what? Watermelon. So it becomes a proper noun. Alright. So this is the broad difference between common noun and proper noun. That common noun is used to name things or people or places in a general manner, whereas proper noun is used to refer to them in a specific manner. Alright. Okay. So let's take a few more examples. Okay, so here we have this table again. Let's see. We have to see common nouns and proper nouns. Here you see coach. Now when we are referring to coach, we are referring to a person in general or specific. We are talking in general, like a coach can be any person. But when we say Coach Martin, this one means that we are talking about a proper noun, talking about a person specifically, right? Then we have teacher. Similarly, this is a common noun. Here this is a list of common people basically. Coach, teacher, here we have soldier again, dentist, waiter. But when we name them specifically, like here Miss Johnson, Corporal Daniels, Dr. Hughes, Scott. So when we name these people specifically, it becomes a proper noun. And again here we have common nouns of places like school, government, store, amusement park, beach. But when you're referring to a specific beach, this becomes Whitehaven Beach. Then when we talk about an amusement park specifically, it's the Disney World. Then we're talking about a store specifically like Target or any other store. Right, so similarly these are proper nouns. Why? Because we're talking about the place specifically. Here, okay, we have common nouns of things. For example, like painting, like a river, ocean, planet, game. But when we are talking about some painting specifically, that specific painting, Mona Lisa, this becomes a proper noun. Mississippi River, the Pacific Ocean, Earth, the game Monopoly. Right here you see we're talking about them in a specific manner, so they become proper nouns. These are proper nouns. Alright. So here we see this is a group of boys. Okay. And next, here we see there's a single boy. Now there's a group of boys and I want to ask you, who's your best friend? When you name somebody, for example, let's see. Now these boys would be a common noun. Why? Because as we discussed, common nouns, they talk about general vehicle, general things, general terms में जो बात होती है. So boys, they could be, and when we're talking about one specific one out of these, for example, who's your best friend, you'd say Ali. So Ali would be a proper noun क्योंकि हम एक specifically एक boy की बात कर रहे हैं. Okay, this particular boy we are talking about, that is a proper noun. All right. All right, here you have again a few more examples, like firefighter. If you refer to, firefighter is a person specifically or generally. Here we are talking about firefighter in a general manner. But when we talk about Captain James, then we are talking about Captain James specifically. Then suppose when we say husband, we're not telling about someone's husband in particular, right? But when we name that person, that becomes specific. Right. Similarly, we have wife, Alicia, Queen Elizabeth. So these are common nouns of persons. These are proper nouns. Then again, we have a few places like island, airport, palace, building. And these can be said specifically in terms of proper nouns like Hawaii, Kennedy Airport, Buckingham Palace, or White House. Alright, so the broad difference that I have been trying to tell you is that common nouns are the places, the persons, the things in general, whereas the proper nouns are the persons, the things, or places in a specific manner. Alright. Alright, so here we have another category of nouns. These are called abstract nouns. What are abstract nouns? The ones which have no physical existence. Okay. What do we mean by them not having physical existence is they refer to certain ideas or emotions or concepts that you cannot see, cannot touch, cannot hear, cannot smell or taste. Okay, so these are those nouns which do not have any physical existence. They are, what do we say, intangible in nature. You cannot really touch them or smell them or taste them. All right, we will see the examples and it will be a bit clearer to you. Now we have a few examples of abstract nouns. Here what you have to notice here is that all of them, none of them can be seen or touched or heard or smelled. All these have no physical existence, like ability, adoration, advantage, adventure, amazement, anger. Now you may see, we can sense when somebody is angry, right? When their face shows, like there's this emoji over here as well. But anger is something that has no physical existence. You cannot touch anger, you cannot taste anger, you cannot smell anger, right? So that's why all of these are abstract nouns. They have no physical existence. Annoyance, anxiety, awareness about something, beauty, and compassion, and confidence, confusion, curiosity, death, dedication, defeat, delay, dishonesty, divorce, friendship, the example that we saw, generation, goal, gossip, growth, happiness. Now when somebody asks you how happy you are, you cannot really measure it and say. There is no unit for measurement. There is no unit for, your growth, your emotional growth. And there is no measurement for somebody's hate. You can just sense it and just say that I am very happy, or I'm very scared and I have a lot of hope, for example, or I'm horrified. And similarly for life, it has no physical existence, cannot be smelt or touched. Loneliness, loss, love, luck, luxury, right? Here we are not talking about the luxurious things. Mind you, you have to be very careful here. When we start talking about luxurious things, for example, if we talk about a mansion or a bungalow, now that becomes another category of nouns. That is not an abstract noun, because that is something that can be touched. It can be seen. Now, if you're talking about a big house, or you're talking about an expensive car, that car can be touched, it can be seen, it can be felt, and it can be heard as well. But luxury is something that you feel. Luxury is a form of life, and that you live. All right. Similarly for maturity, mercy. Mercy means forgiving someone, giving them mercy. Movement, needing something, need, right, rumor, sacrifice, satisfaction, self-control, service, shock, silliness, skill, and sleep. So let's move on. I have a few more examples as well. These are pretty easy. You should pause the video and have a look at them for yourselves and give a read. I'll just quickly read them for you. Belief, bravery, brilliance, calm, care, chaos, charity, childhood. We took this example, remember? Clarity, coldness, comfort, dream. Dreams have no physical existence. Education, elegance, envy, evil, failure, faith, fascination, fear, fiction, freedom, hurt, idea. We took this example. Infancy. Infancy is the infant stage, when you're very young, only a few months or a few years old. Then that's infancy. And inflation refers to the rising prices. Suppose there's a particular car which was for 10 lakhs last year, and now this year it is for say 12 lakhs. So now that car has inflated, rising prices. Then intelligence, irritation, joy, justice, kindness, liberty, lie, opinion, opportunity, pain, patience, peace, pleasure, power, pride, relief, riches, sorrow, success, surprise, talent, trend, trust, victory, weakness, wealth, wisdom, worry. So let's move on. So now we have done 3 categories of nouns. First was the proper nouns, second was the common nouns. Now, and the third was the abstract nouns. Now we are moving on to the fourth category of nouns, which is collective nouns. Now, collective, as its name suggests, what is in the name? Collective. Collective can be a synonym of collection. You know, collection means group. So, the group of people, animal or things, that is a collective noun. Alright, we will give you examples and then we will understand it better. Right now, what you have to understand is a group of people, animal or things that is referred to as collective nouns. Alright, so how do we form them? How do we form collective nouns? This is the formation. Collective noun plus of plus the plural noun. Whatever noun we have, उसकी plural form यहाँ पर आएगी and उसका जो collective noun होगा, which we will study now, collective noun plus of plus plural noun. You should write down this formation and we will see this in the upcoming slides. Okay, here collective nouns of people we are talking about first. For example, if we have certain Morris dancers, we say a side. What is the collective noun here? Side. A side of Morris dancers. If we have pipers, we say a skull of pipers. Right? There are certain candidates for certain job or something, some opportunity. So we don't say a group of candidates. Rather, a group of candidates is called a slate of candidates. Models, we say a slouch of models. A Sodom of shepherds. Squeal of nieces. Staff of employees. Staff of servants as well. Stock of foresters. Superfluity of nuns. Tabernacle of bakers. Tantrum of decorators. Team of athletes. And a team of players. A tribe of Indians. A troop of acrobats. A troop of performers. Females के लिए भी say a troop of females and a troop of males. Alright, this one was for people. Now next, like for sea animals, here you see, we say a bind of salmon, a company of angelfish, a family of sardines, a fleet of bass, a float of tuna fish, a flotilla of swordfish, a glint of goldfish, a herd of seahorses. Next, we have sea animals here as well. A party of rainbow fish, a school of cod, a shiver of sharks, a shoal of fish, a troop of shrimp, a swarm of dragonet fish, a squad of skid, a shoal of mackerel. Now you don't have to worry, you don't have to remember all these by heart. Once you will see the questions, जो हम end में quiz करेंगे, जब आप वो questions पढ़ लेंगे, समझ लेंगे, तो there will be only a few जो आपको याद रखने होंगे. In fact, आपको याद रखने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है, यहाँ पे रट्टे नहीं मारने होंगे. You don't have to rote learn all this. आप once you solve a few questions and if you continue reading and being involved in the language, तो जो थोड़े से common है ना ये the common collective nouns, वो आपको anyway याद ही रहेंगे. So these are just for your reference. For example, some sort of question comes and you don't, so these are just for your reference. आप इससे अपनी vocabulary बढ़ा सकते हैं. I'm just giving you examples. So now a few more. Here we have for birds. Alright, we will do only a few important ones. For example, you see a brood of chickens, and for the hen also we say the same, a brood of hens. And for penguins we call it a colony, and for vultures again we call it a colony. For parrots we call it a company. Now you see, हमने formation कैसे करी थी? Formation we said the collective noun plus of plus the plural form. Right, so here is the plural form. For example, if you see of eagles, eagle की plural form is eagles and convocation is the common noun. So common noun plus of plus the plural form. So convocation of eagles. Alright. Here again we have a few more collective nouns for birds. A flight of birds is the most common. You should remember this one. And you remember for crows also, murder of crows. And this one, a host of sparrows. And a stand of flamingos. And a pride of ostriches as well. And you see, this is quite funny. For a group of owls, we call it a parliament of owls. Now for amphibians, reptiles, invertebrates, insects. Now for the collective nouns, there is no limit. In fact, for nouns only, there is no limit for giving you examples. After all, what we did, what are nouns? Nouns are a noun refers to any person, place, animal, or thing. Right? Now there are so many people. There are so many places, there are so many animals, and there are so many things. अब हम सारे examples नहीं कर सकते हैं. Right? So I'm just giving you a few of them just for your reference. For example, here, frogs one. An army of frogs. For dinosaurs, we call it a herd. Alright, the snakes, we call it a den. For crocodiles, we call it a bask. इसमें formation you remember, the collective noun plus of plus the plural form of the noun. Now next. Here are a few more. You see a bale of turtles, a culture of bacteria, army of caterpillars, flight of butterflies, colony of ants, swarm of bees, and a clutter of spiders. Now for mammals, these are a few interesting ones. For example, a colony of rabbits, colony of rats, colony of seals. Then for pigs, we call it a sounder of pigs. For cows, it's a flink. For deer, it's a herd. And for donkeys as well, and for bisons as well, it's a herd. And for lambs, it's a foal. For race horses, it's a field of race horses. These are a few more. We have elephants, we have heard again. We have a pack of dogs, a pack of wolves, and a sloth of bears, troop of goats, troop of monkeys. You must have heard about this. Now you see a few common ones you must already know. You just won't have known कि इन्हें हम collective nouns कहते हैं. वरना जैसे a pack of wolves, a pack of dogs, ये सब you must have heard in some of the movies, or you must have read somewhere, right? Now next. Another one we have for things, like a pile of money, a deck of cards, a bunch of keys, and a fleet of ships, fleet of vehicles, chest of drawers, pair of shoes, library of books, roll of film, set of tools, album of photographs. You must already know that photographs ka jo group hai, we call that an album. Alright, so most of them are very common and you must already know. You would have known, I think. Okay, so the next category of nouns is compound nouns. Now, compound nouns are what? Two or more words that create a noun. Basically, they form one word when they're joined together. That there might be, one and two, these two separate words, and you join them together to form maybe a similar word or a word with altogether different meanings. All right, let's see some examples. But all you have to remember is compound. Compound basically means joining of something. So there are two words which are being joined together to form a new word. All right. Now next. Okay. So now we are done with the abstract nouns. We have done 4 categories of nouns: proper nouns, common nouns, and abstract nouns, and collective nouns. Now we are moving towards our 5th category of nouns. Okay, this is pretty simple. Here you see, now there are 2 different words. One is a cup and the other is a cake. Both of them are absolutely 2 different things. But if we combine those 2 words, we can form another completely new word, which is a cupcake, right? Similarly here, butter, a completely different word, fly, a different word. But when we form them together, we again form a new word, which is what? Butterfly. Butterfly has no connection with butter or fly. It's an absolutely new word, which is a butterfly. Similarly here, sun plus flower makes a sunflower. And book and shelf makes a bookshelf. So these kind of words, they are called compound nouns. So what are compound nouns? When there are 2 words which are formed to make an absolutely new and different word. That is the compound noun. We have a few more examples like pop plus corn makes popcorn, foot and ball makes a football, rain and bow makes a rainbow, moon and light makes a moonlight. Alright? These are also what? These are also compound nouns. Now here are again, I have given a few examples for you to understand better. I'll just quickly read them. Shoebox and butterfly, and star and fish, starfish, ear and ring, earring, hair and brush, hairbrush, hand and bag makes a handbag, wheel and chair. 2 different words make an absolutely new wheelchair. Straw is different, berries are different. Together they make strawberries. Now the next one, another few for you to go through. Pan and cake makes a pancake. Rain and bow. Bow is kind of an accessory. Rain and bow makes a rainbow. Grass alag hota hai and hopper alag hota hai. But both of them when combined together make grasshopper. Similarly for jelly beans and similarly for bathtub. Okay, so here we are going to do a small topic but important one. One more category we have is for countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, now as its name suggests, it is pretty easy to understand also. Countable nouns are the ones which we can count using numbers. Alright, and the uncountable nouns are for things that we cannot count using numbers. Alright, and these countable nouns can be singular or plural. And here we can use a or an for their singular form. But here it is difficult to tell. For the countable nouns, it is difficult to tell whether they are singular or plural. There might be some ideas or some abstract things. Let's see the examples. Here, for example, I have a big house. Like a big house. Now, house is countable. कि एक घर है, दो घर हैं, 10 घर हैं. They can be counted, right? So it is a countable noun. Then brothers. She has 2 brothers. So this is also countable, right? But here, when we see uncountable nouns, we see ideas and things like knowledge, air, fear. So these kind of things, they cannot really be counted. That's why we call them uncountable nouns. Alright, so in addition to the category of nouns we have done, this is also important, but this is pretty easy to understand, right? Countable and uncountable. Okay, let's move on. Now you have done all the 5 category of nouns. 5 category of nouns. We have understood what nouns are. We have done the 5 categories. We will quickly revise them now. Alright, so now we are revising our, this is a very important slide. This is basically a summary of what all we have done in nouns in all the previous slides. Okay, so pay attention. This is like a summary. This is like a synopsis for you. Okay, now first of all, just erase it. Yes. So first of all, we have done 5 types of nouns. First is the common nouns. Second is the proper nouns. Third is the abstract nouns. Fourth is the collective nouns. And fifth, the compound nouns. Alright. So now you see, we started off with our very first picture, the scenery of the park, wherein we explained about various common things that we could see. The general things we were talking about, for example, books, and for example, fruits. But similarly, when we compared them with proper nouns, and when we talked about specific things, specific places, specific names, specific persons, so that becomes a proper noun. Okay, we discussed about examples. For example, dog is a common noun, but for a proper noun, suppose your dog's name is Bruno. So Bruno is a proper noun and dog is a common noun. Similarly, if we take Kolkata. Now, if we say city, city is a common noun, because it is a general thing. It is a common thing. City can be any city. But Kolkata is a specific city. So that becomes a proper noun. Next, we talked about abstract nouns. Abstract nouns, when we refer to, we talked about things that don't have any physical existence. They are an idea, any state or quality. For example, peace here. And we discussed terms like brotherhood, friendship, love, hate. All these things are abstract nouns. Alright. Then we moved on to collective nouns. Collective nouns refer to group. Any group when we are referring to, it becomes a collective noun. Group of people, animals or things. We discussed so many collective nouns and has given example of group of people. We discussed collective nouns like tribe of monkey, etc. And here, when we talk about compound nouns, the example like for monkeys, we can either say tribe, we can also say troop, we can also say a cartload of monkeys, right? Then we move on to the compound nouns. Now for the compound nouns, we learn that they are made up of two words and they form a completely new word altogether. For example, suit and case. They are two different independent words, but we can combine them and form a new word, which is suitcase. Alright. We discussed other examples also, like pan plus cake, pancake. Right? So these are the 5 broad categories of nouns: common nouns, proper nouns, abstract nouns, collective nouns, and compound nouns. I hope you have understood them by now. So now let's move on. Now it's time for a quiz. We will do the sample questions of IEO and understand each question and try to find their answers. This will be like a practice for you. This will be like a mock exam for you. Alright, so for the quiz, what we will be doing is, now every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. Why am I giving you 1 minute? Because you see, your question paper of IEO, it has about 50 questions, and so you can imagine that you get more or less a minute to answer the questions. Now this 1 minute is the maximum that you should be taking for answering the question. Now suppose there could be two, three categories of students. First category is, suppose you answer the question within that 1 minute. So I would request you to fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. You should not be wasting your time. Alright. Now the other students who are not able to answer the question in 1 minute, what you do, you don't skip to the answer. You pause the video and you write down your answer. Alright, it is very important to answer each and every question because there is no negative marking. Here you see, for every incorrect answer, no points, because there is no negative marking in IEO, so it is important that you attempt all the questions. Now for a question of which you are not sure about the answer, now even here and even in the exam, if you are not sure about the answer and you maybe think that B option might be correct or C option might be correct, so you should in that case play your luck and play your mind and make a guess and still give an answer, because it is a win-win situation. Either you will get the marks for that question or you will get a 0, right? But if you don't attempt that question at all, then you are anyway getting a 0 in that, right? So it is good to attempt those questions, and even if you don't know all the answers, try to understand and take a guess. Okay, so this is for every correct answer 10 points. This is just for your own little game where you can try to maintain a notepad. So here you write the name of the chapter and then the question, and then if it is correct you can give yourself 10 points. If it is not correct, you mark it here. So it is important to see these questions, the ones which you mark incorrect. It is important to go back to them later and then see where you did the mistake. Alright, this is just for your reference. For every correct answer you can give yourself 10 points. Alright, Now let's start. Alright, so here we start with the questions. What we have to do in here, we have to choose the correct sound which is corresponding to the given noun, which means the dash of a brook. Now for a brook, what sound does the brook make? We have to figure that out from the given options. The hub of a brook, the jangle of a brook, the hum of a brook, or D, the babble of a brook. And for a brook, the sound it makes is a babble. The babble of a brook. Alright. That's how we will be doing this category of questions. Okay, next, the dash of leaves, the rustle of leaves, the buzz of leaves, the ring of leaves, or the patter of leaves. Now for leaves, the sound we refer to is rustle. Now we usually refer as the rustling of leaves. Jaise, let me give you an example. Jab bahar, there's a clear sky and there's this subtle wind going on, थोड़ा सा windy हो रहा होता है, and leaves की आवाज आती है, they are wavy and flowing. So we say that the leaves are rustling. That is the sound of leaves. Alright? Rustle. the dash of crockery, the rattle of crockery, the rumble of crockery, the rustle of crockery, or D, the crackle of crockery. Now for crockery, crockery is the utensils and basically the equipments that you have in the kitchen. So when the food is being made or the dishes are being washed or some utensil falls down, तो जो आवाज होती है ना, that sound is referred to as rattle, the rattle of crockery. Alright. Here, the dash of coins, the chime of coins, the chatter of coins, the creak of coins, or the clink of coins. Now, suppose you have some coins in your pocket and junki khan, that sound whichever comes, and or when certain coins, they fall from your hand, when they fall on the floor, the sound that they make is called as clink, the clinking of coins. All right. Okay, now the dash of raindrops, the patter of raindrops, the chatter of raindrops, the screech of raindrops, or the peeling of raindrops. Now raindrops, जब बारिश होती है, what is the sound of raindrops that we refer to? The patter. I think there was this poem in kindergarten as well. The pitter patter of rain, something like that. I don't remember it completely, but it was the pitter patter of raindrops. So patter is referred to the sound of raindrops. All right. Okay, so here what do we have to do? We have to match the following nouns with their containers. With their containers in the sense, let's see an example. Now document. Document options are drum, Tetra Pak, C carafe or D briefcase. Now where a document is kept, usually the container of documents, which means the place for keeping the documents, what is it called usually? So for the documents, the container is briefcase. Okay. So briefcase is the container in which documents are kept. Alright. Documents refer to certain important files or folders. Okay. These are documents and they're kept in a briefcase. Alright, now here the next word is medicine. What is the container of a medicine called? Let's see. A carton, B portmanteau, C file and D punnet. Now for medicine, the container is a file. Now file is a sort of, we can say, एक injection तरीके का एक container होता है जिसमें ना samples of medicines are kept. Okay, that is called a file. Alright. Now the other words which I think might be new to you. Here we have punnet. Punnet जो होता है usually हम जैसे जो basket होती है ना fruits की, उसको हम punnet बोलते हैं. Alright. Now the other word we have portmanteau. Now portmanteau, I think it comes from French and this is usually called a, it's a briefcase sort of thing, जो bag होता है ना, traveling bag, a sort of that. That's a portmanteau. Okay. Okay, now next, oil. The container of oil is called A casket, B chest, C caddy or D drum. This is pretty easy. The container of oil where the oil is kept, it's called a drum. Okay, drum, not the musical instrument, but a drum sort of thing. It's a large container. Okay, that's a drum. Okay, now for a sword. What is the container of a sword called? Now here the options are A. Cask, B. Tub, C. Coffer, or D. Scabbard. Now the sword, the container of a sword is called a scabbard. What is a scabbard? Let me explain to you. Sword क्या होती है? तलवार. Alright, you must have seen this in movies or otherwise. तलवार होती है. Right, this is a sword. Now there is this. Let me use another pen here. Some sort of an outer packing. Okay, जिसके inside which you put this sword. Okay, you just push it in. So this container, that's called a scabbard. Alright. There was like cask, tub, coffer. There are different containers. For sword, we use the container name scabbard. Alright. Okay, now the next word is grain. The options are A. Granary, B. Ewer, C. Hamper, or D. Keg. Now, for grains, the container is pretty easy. Granary. All right. Now for the other words, like here we have ewer. Now ewer एक उनसे कहते हैं like generally जो एक टी सेट में these kind of jugs होते हैं ना इस shape के some sort of this shape jugs, they're called ewers. Okay, and hamper, we can say hamper is a large basket kind of thing जिसमें बहुत सारी चीजें mix होके मिलती हैं, you know, hamper gifts. All right. Now again we have keg. Now keg is also sort of a metal or wooden container. This is usually used for alcoholic drinks. All right. Now here, fill in the blanks with the suitable collective nouns. So here we have to use the collective nouns. What were collective nouns? The ones which are used for groups. So a dash of parrots flew high in the sky. A bunch of parrots, a flock of parrots, or a herd of parrots. Now for parrots, the collective noun we use is flock. Alright, a flock of parrots flew high in the sky. We saw a dash of lions at the sanctuary. A herd of lions, a flock of lions, a troop of lions, or a pride of lions. Lions, this is very common. The collective noun we use is pride. A group of lions is called a pride, okay? A pride of lions. Okay, here I sent a dash of fruits for my sister. A bucket of fruits, a basket of fruits, a drum of fruits. Fruits again, this is also pretty easy. I'm pretty sure you know this one. I sent a basket of fruits for my sister. Alright. The collective noun for fruits is basket. Okay, now here I'm unable to locate my new dash of school shoes. New comb of school shoes, new pair of school shoes, new set of school shoes, a new flight of school shoes. This one's also easy. My God, we're getting such easy questions. My new pair of school shoes. Why pair? Because the school shoes, they come in a pair of two, right? You get two shoes in one set. You don't really get one shoe, right? So that's why we refer to it as pair. Collective noun is pair of school shoes. All right. I have put the dash of tools back in the car. A. Comb of tools, B. Set of tools, or C. Bottle of tools, or D. None of these. Here the correct answer, again simple, easy, is B. Set of tools. Collective noun for tools is set. Okay, here what do we have to do? The next category, this one says fill in the blanks with the correct form of nouns. So here, as per the question, whatever the blank says, we have to see the options and then fill in the one which is most suitable. Alright, so here it says, could you please give me some dash about the examination schedule? Now here let's see the options. Could you please give me some information about the examination schedule? Or could you please give me some informations about the examination schedule? Okay, here the correct answer is A. Information. Now why information? We're talking this information is what? It is an uncountable noun. Alright, that's why some information. Alright. The next question says, there are dash fish in the river. A. Plenty of fish in the river. B. A large amount of fish in the river. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. So in sort of questions में both A and B तो possible है ही नहीं. D. None of these. So also one of these will be correct. Let's see. There are plenty of fish in the river. The correct answer is A. Plenty of. Why? Because fish जो है, fish is what? It is countable noun. Alright. I forgot to renew my dash to the cricket club. A. Member, B. Membership, C. Members list, or D. None of these. Here the correct answer is B. Membership. Right. I forgot to renew my membership. Okay. The next question. The children in the dash organized a Ramlila function. Children in the neighbor, children in the neighbors, children in the neighborhood. The correct answer is children in the neighborhood organized a Ramlila function. Alright, correct answer is C. Neighborhood. Okay. नेबर जो है नेबर हम रेफर करते हैं पर्सन को, नेबर्स ग्रुप ऑफ मतलब नेबर इन प्लूरल नेबर, राइट. नेबरहुड जो है मतलब यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द होल एरिया जिसमें आपके नेबर्स रहते हैं, दैट इज नेबरहुड. ओके. Raj and Shashi formed a strong A. Friendship, B. Friend, C. Friends. Here the correct answer is A. Raj and Shashi formed a strong friendship. By friendship, friendship here is an abstract noun, something that they cannot touch and see. It can be only felt. It's an idea, emotion, feeling sort of thing. So friendship. Here friend, friend and friend, these are common nouns, right? So here Raj and Shashi formed a strong friendship. Okay. Next question. My uncle bought a very beautiful dash of drawers. A. Rack of drawers, B. Chest of drawers, C. String of drawers, or D. Rows of drawers. Now here the correct answer is B. Chest of drawers. Here we have to choose the collective noun, right? The collective noun for drawers is referred to as a chest, the chest of drawers. Alright. Okay, here we have, this one says, Mother Teresa will always be remembered for her A. Kindness, B. Freedom, C. Friendship, or D. Laughter. Now we know that Mother Teresa was a really kind soul. She helped the poor out a lot, and she was involved in the social welfare of the disadvantaged. So we can say that Mother Teresa will always be remembered for her kindness. All right, because we know that kindness was a very, we can say, significant trait when we think about Mother Teresa. Right now, and all these are abstract nouns. Why? Because we cannot see them or touch them or hear them or smell them. So these are abstract nouns. They are intangible in nature. All right. Okay, now this is the last question. This is the hot question. Here, the dash of a clock. Here, what do we have to talk about? Sound. The sound of what? Clock. What is the sound of a clock? A, the crack of a clock. B, the mutter of a clock. C, the mumble of a clock. Or D, the chime of a clock. Which is the chime of a clock. Alright? Now with this we come to an end for questions on nouns. That's all for the questions. Alright, so
that's all for our class on nouns. I hope you have understood the basic idea, whatever concepts we discussed. If there's any doubt, make sure you go back and revise them. If you made any mistakes in the questions, make sure you rectify those mistakes and don't repeat them in the future. So keep revising them and keep learning. I will see you the next time. Thank you for watching.